Well, a very good evening to everybody that's taken the time to join us on this call on this very chilly Thursday evening here in Johannesburg. And if you're just joining the call and you're seeing the chat and you're seeing a lot of me's in the chat, I asked if you were in the position to attend the convention this past weekend in Johannesburg, please just pop a me in the chat. That's for my purposes as we go through the call, and also just to give me an idea of who I'm sharing with. All right. Excellent. We've got 30 people on the call at the moment, and I think we're going to get started. So most of you have probably seen a post in the WhatsApp groups that Chris and Lucinda are about to board a plane, if they haven't boarded already. And they're jetting off to London to go and share at the London event this coming weekend. So we wish them all the best, safe travels, and go and share some of the fire from Team 333 here in South Africa. Well, what a weekend it was. It was absolutely incredible. It was my first ever LifeWave convention that I was fortunate to participate in. And I must tell you, I have come away from there feeling like I should have been involved 20 years ago. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. There are no real words to describe it. I think we were very fortunate to hear from so many people and have different perspectives on different topics. And it was absolutely amazing. The program was just run so professionally, excellently. I don't think we even ran anywhere near overtime. Hats off to Gavin for emceeing us so well. And to everybody that participated, everybody that shared from the platform, whether it was a testimony, whether it was a teaching, well done. Well done to all of you, and thank you. Thank you for pouring your hearts, your souls, and everything into what you gave in your time on stage. It was absolutely incredible, and we learned so much about so much from so many different angles, so many different perspectives. It was really, really incredible. And, you know, Chris has started releasing some of the recordings from the weekend. I'm sure it's going to take some time to get them all out. But it was really, there's no words to describe it. It was powerful from beginning to end. The energy in the room was palpable, and people were just in a position to absorb that. And I think from start to finish, there was not one sort of topic that overlapped another. There was no feeling of boredom and repetitiveness. I think the energy from start to finish was great. And then we just had incredible leaders with us from around the world as well. We had Harvey and Olga here, who I was fortunate to meet for the first time. And we had George as well from Spain, and Dr. Ali sharing from different perspectives on some of the medical things and helping us understand just how the patches help with detox. And we had, you know, all of our wonderful leaders from around the country as well. Freeman from the UK was here as well. He shared on stage on prospecting and reaching out to a new market. Beverly got on the stage like a little pack of dynamite and set us alight with understanding frequency and how to set the frequency of money. It was amazing. And Giselle opened us up with the first teaching, sharing about being dressed for success. And I think that really just set a tone all the way through. The level of professionalism and the attitude of every person that shared was really phenomenal. And then we had our keynote speaker, Sarah, sharing her experience of climbing to the top of Everest. That was incredible. And to just learn about someone's resilience and their character was amazing, and how we can parallel that to this business and everything that this business stands for. You know, so unfortunately, those of you that weren't there, you did miss out. You did. But there's going to be another one next year, and it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better. And I can promise you, you don't start a fire like this for it to die out. There's really going to be some amazing things happening. So you don't want to sit on this call and hear me rumble on about this all night, that's for sure. So it's not Testimony Thursday, but I'm going to ask that we have some people that were in attendance at the convention to start sharing. And yes, Rachel's put there in the chat, start saving now. Make it a priority from now until the next convention next year to put away some money to invest in yourself. Really, it would be the wisest thing that you ever did. Just start putting away something, even if it's, 50 Rand a month. Put it away. Keep it safe somewhere. And do even better. Save a little extra to bless someone else with a ticket too. And let's see where we go. Beverly, I've got you in my sights. You're at the top of my screen. I'm going to ask you to unmute. And would you please share from your perspective in about 5 minutes what the convention meant to you and what you've taken away from it?
There we go. I was wondering how I was going to get unmuted. Good evening, everybody. Andrew, for me, it's also very special because I went last year to the first one last year. There were two last year. And I must say, I also went not knowing anybody, not knowing anything. I had just purchased my patches in May. So it was absolutely close to that time. And I can't tell you what a difference it was from last year to this year. And in fact, it's very difficult to put it into words what you feel on the day. And I think it would be imagining like you were in the stadium. Let's take one of the huge big stadiums in the world. Let's just take the Cape Town Stadium because I'm biased. and you're in the Cape Town Stadium and you got everybody patched. And there is this, you're watching the Springbok game, and there is this euphoria. You don't know where it comes from, but you all feel united, and you all feel this great level of euphoria. It's like this inner joy. And it truly is not woo-woo. I'm not just talking about frequency. It truly is a fact. And you connect with people, the same people that you would have seen this year. When you see them next year, they're going to be like hugging you because there's a bond that gets formed within this group. And so, if anything, you don't have to learn anything other than just connecting with real humans. And for that, I can't miss another one again. I feed off it. It feeds my soul. And I meet the most amazing, amazing human beings. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. They always say that your business is built convention to convention. And, after this past weekend, I can see why, and it's important. These things are really, really important. And for the one reason and one fact that Beverly said there, it builds community. And you're building a community of like-minded and like-hearted people that are on the same journey and in this business to impact the world. So it's a very unique mission. And, we're not all called to save or change the world, but we can all play our part by doing it one soul or one person at a time. So it's all about that relationship and that connection. So some amazing connections were formed this weekend. And I think next year, I don't think we'll have double the number. I think we'll have triple the number of people at the convention next year, especially if you can take what we had this weekend and just get that out, that people can experience and share that. And I think it's awesome that the recordings are coming out. So those who weren't there do get to be a part of it and to share at least in some of the teachings that they missed out on. And it's going to be great. So Don T, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. It was a pleasure to meet you as well there, sir. And I'd like you to also just share with us in a couple of minutes what your experience was. So just got to go down the list and find you. There we go. So Don, if you can unmute yourself. And
I'm not in a light environment, but thank you so much. You caught me by surprise. Andrew, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, I must say we had a fantastic convention. I cannot describe it. It was epic. You started it well in saying you wish you started 20 years ago, and I only started a year ago. And the light and the wave we found from that convention, it was out of this world. The quality of speakers, the topics were awesome. And I must say that there's something which I'm taking forth daily in that we are blessed. We have a present. It's a light from God in this pages from the founder who is a Christian. And he said, light is life. We've got an opportunity, an obligation to take this light in our hands and spread it to as many people as possible. We are just conduits who are blessed to know about this. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We need to meet at least in the whole world 1 billion people to know about this. And South Africa, we are blessed to be the first African country to know about this. We have to spread it and touch one person, one family at a time, and make a difference out there. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Don. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Yes, reach out and touch somebody. Everything can be summed up at the end of that convention in just a few words. It's all about relationship. It's all about relationship. You know, if you think about what we have here and this amazing product, this amazing opportunity, and I'm going to try and draw a bit of a parallel here. You go through most of your life spending time and experiencing the same GP, the family doctor, and a relationship is built there, and he or she kind of earns the right to speak into your life from a medical perspective. Now, we wanting to infiltrate people's lives and people's homes and take care of their health and wellness. So we have to be like that GP and build that relationship and that rapport so that people can trust us, that people can share confidently with us, people can grow with us, and they can share their successes with us and all those sort of things. So we really have to do that. And don't be like a stupid GP and charge them a fortune for 15 minutes of your time. give them a wealth of your time for a fortune of their experience and their change. So we learned really that, you know, it's all about building that relationship and getting into people's hearts and heads at the same time, not into their pockets or their wallets. Okay, let's see who else we can have. Sandra, if you're still connected and you haven't lost power yet, I'm going to ask you to unmute. You and your husband attended the convention together, and I'm not sure if it was your first convention, but we look forward to hearing from you if you're still on here. Sandra, Perry, there we are. And please unmute and share.
Hi, Andrew. Hi, everyone. We'll talk quickly because we came home to a power outage, but I'm sitting here with Joel. So it was his first convention, but my fourth one. And I think this one was like really out of this world in that it's as though Chris and Lucinda and the leadership had picked up on every little challenge that brand partners face. And each of the topics just touched on everything. And there were messages from every single speaker. I think the de-virtualizing, meeting people belly to belly, as George says, was wonderful to meet people in person. And I think Harvey always makes a statement that we go to conventions to make a decision, but we also make a decision at a convention. And I think for me, that what came out most in that there was something, as I said to Sandy on Tuesday in the meeting, this convention shifted our state of mind and our belief. I think it strengthened belief in the product. the community that we supported by the leadership. And we have so much to be grateful for. So thank you so much for that. I don't know if Joel wants to add a minute.
Okay, thank you. Two or three things. One is there were some valuable insights in terms of tips for doing the business, for prospecting people. Very, very valuable. And it was interesting to see our guests from the UK also talking about the use of AI in preparing scripts and communicating to people. I think that was brilliant. The first time I have seen, which was quite relevant actually, how one can use AI ChatGPT even to with communicating to people, prospecting and guiding them. So those tips on prospecting were very valuable. I took lots of notes. And then a very thing that's important that stood out for me was the value systems, to see the genuine values, the genuineness of people, the fact that people were personally impacted by the products, they got good value out of it. You're actually changing people's lives, and the value of service to people. Don't run after the money, go after adding value to people's lives, and the money will follow. So I really felt that it was quite centered in the right place with the right motivation. You could identify with it from a spiritual point of view, from a humanitarian point of view, and from a business point of view also, it was well centered. So I'm very much appreciative of that. Well done. Thank you.
Excellent. And thanks for coming. And I'm glad you had the privilege to enjoy that. Okay. Magda van Rensburg, you were the first one to say me on the call this evening, so you have to have a turn to speak. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, and then you can share your experience with us. There we go.
Good evening, everybody. You know,
Good
the
evening.
vibrance, Andrew, in that auditorium, everybody's vibrance, everybody was so positive. It was amazing. And I must say, definitely all the testimonials were absolutely, you know, sometimes you have to take out a tissue to wipe a tear away. But the most of all, I think Olga's testimonial from where she came from, her son. I love children. I think it's very, very important that we all care for children, that we are positive about our children, and that we speak positively to them and give them blessings as well. And just the way how they handled everything through their difficult trials with him, from stem cell injections, from the day that when she took her baby to the doctor at 2 years old, and that was shocking to hear. I didn't know that is where he got it from. And there are so many children. That's when I really had to take out my tissues to realize how many children there are that's got autism. And sometimes the parents got the money to really try and help them and support them with these patches, but still sometimes they don't. And if they hear that testimonial of Olga, they will definitely not think twice, but rather spend the money and get their children health and get them better. So that was amazing. But everything, and then Andrew, I must say, your part on the stage was excellent. From the candle, when you came in with a candle, the whole story that you chatted, and what I really, really appreciate is that most of the speakers, you know, gave God the honor and talk about God and so on. But the way you did it was absolutely amazing and so well called for, because sometimes we forget in our busyness to thank God, to know that God is the one who enable us to get the wealth or the health or whatever it may be. But the way that you gave God all the glory, that was absolutely amazing to me. And that's why afterwards I also went up to you. I don't know whether you recognized me or not, but I said to him, I was very impressed. You were busy talking to George. So I just want to say I was very, very impressed. I'm just sorry that I missed Sandy Feast and her husband. I wanted to greet them. When I ran up there, they were already gone. But everybody's testimony, everybody's share in the conference was just absolutely amazing. And I will definitely not miss another one again. I missed the very first one due to Firkau was very ill at that stage, but I attended the others. But I must say, this one was the best. This one just rocked everything. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, well, now we've set the bar. We've got a lot to do to lift that bar and make it better. But you know, we have the team, we have the passion. There's a fire that's been ignited. We've got the leadership that can help us to do that. And I think we'll definitely be going places in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So can you imagine when we do have to have the Cape Town Stadium to host our conventions? That's going to be something incredible. Sandy Feast, I'm going to ask you to share with us. I'm just going to find a button. There we go.
Thanks so much, Andrew, and thank everyone, because it's due to everyone being there that the vibe was so high.
Absolutely.
It's everyone's energy. And I agree. People bared their souls. So everyone could really understand. And the connection was powerful. And that's why, to me, don't make excuses. Don't worry about distractions. Do everything you can. Set next year as a priority right now. And start getting your piggy bank ready. It's someone else said that. And without a doubt, I learned from everyone, from you, from every single speaker. And also, I was very interested in the AI side. I don't know if I'll get there, but it's interesting. It sparked a light in Eric, and Eric said he would like to attend some courses in AI. So everyone gets something special. And for sure, it's what Kavi says. You make a decision at a convention. I'm going to ask for one thing to change. Certainly, we need more time at tea breaks to connect. Magda, that's why I didn't see you. I didn't get to talk to people. And you want to at least hug and say hi and share a few words. There wasn't time. It was a packed day, but I loved it. And the result is, and I'll finish on this, the result is I am packed. So I'm sure all of you are packed with appointments, Teams, Zooms, live movements, going places with people. It's moving everyone, which is great. So we will be helping so many more people in the coming year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're so right. It is. It's about everybody's energy in that place that makes it so powerful. And, from arriving in the morning and just the excitement of people getting to the venue and it being new and being so excellent, there was a buzz, a real buzz, So definitely everybody's involvement makes it special. Thanks, Sandy. Liesel, I'm going to ask you to unmute and share with us. I'm just going to scroll up here. There we go. You're on air.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much. Let me just get to a place where it's a bit quieter. Sorry, I'm busy taking care of my mom, so I'm not going to switch the video on at the moment.
No
Andrew,
problem.
I was like completely overwhelmed, and I just want to say one or two things that stood out for me. I went there with my sister went and my son went, so I felt secure in that environment because I had somebody that I know, but the level of people making themselves vulnerable to strangers make that you build relationships with these people that are on a different level. and people are honest, they're vulnerable, and it's the first time in my life, I am 55, it's the first time in my life that I work in an environment where people pull you forward. Everywhere where I've worked previously, and even my current source of income is, you have to watch your own back. And, the corporate environment where people step on each other, I mean, I think we're all used to that. So for me, this was a big surprise. And then I was also, Nicolene and I committed to each other to attend the Sunday lunch. And going there, as newbies on this team and just being heartily welcomed. And I don't know, it's just, I've not experienced this at all in my life. And the content of the speakers, what they taught us was amazing. And we joked, we said that it's impossible to get tired during this convention because it's like an ideal situation. If anybody has a child with attention deficit issues, you would know, the faster the screen changes, the more they can concentrate. Well, here it was such a packed day that you could not lose concentration and you could not get tired or bored. Your mouth was hanging open. And it was just a lovely, lovely experience. I'll definitely attend all possible conventions.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, it was like being on a roller coaster, because from one speaker to the next, you went from, this peak of high energy emotions to being in this point of self-reflection, to a point of somebody sharing something that was like pulling off a scab and making you just feel a little bit ouch, and then going back onto that high. And because of the way the day was structured and the pace of the day, by the time 5:30 came around, you didn't even realize it was 5:30, because things had just moved so efficiently, and it was just really incredible. Okay, let's see. Who else can I pick on? Mel Gamble. Mel Gamble, I see you on the call there. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Yeah.
Okay.
You're live. Oh, you're muted again.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. Hi there. How are you all? It's so good to see so many faces that's been at the convention. And I've been telling everybody, just start saving up right now. The first week after convention, you start saving up. It's like a flame has been lit and passion has been ignited. And I know when I don't know your everybody else's experience, but when I started the patches within the first 5 weeks, I see some major changes in my own life, in my own health. And then, but I didn't feel great. I had detox for about 8 weeks, and so then I was quite on fire though. And I spoke to many people. Every single day I spoke to people. If I didn't speak to people in any given day, I felt so guilty and I felt so restless. But then life happens, and it's kids and it's husband and it's day job and it's household and it's family, and you kind of lost your way a little bit in all of the chaos of life. But coming to convention and seeing um, like you guys say, people that are vulnerable on stage and they share from their hearts and they are normal people. They're not somebody who's on a pedestal. They are normal people like you and me. They're people that come from backgrounds where they struggle or where there was luck or where there was health issues, financial issues, various different backgrounds. And the one thing that struck me was that this business does not discriminate. Anybody can make a success of LifeWave. We just need to have a passion for people, and we need to get past our own preconceived ideas of what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And we must just be true and pure and ourselves and speak to everyone. Find that connection point, like George says. I mean, I have a guest here, John. Sorry, I'm going to mention your name now. John is my guest tonight. Yes, John, he waves at us. John made coffee for me. He owns a little coffee shop and cafe, and his lady that actually serves the guests that comes in the door was busy with another customer, so he made my coffee for me while we had a chat. And we spoke about the coffee and the cold, and next minute he said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm not from here, I'm from B, and I'm just passing through for business." And he asked me, "What do you do?" And I explained. And immediately, just because of my passion, I believe John got excited. He said to me, "I can see that this is something that you really enjoy, and I want to know more." And here's my guest online tonight. And that's the thing. I actually have 6 people that were supposed to be my guests tonight, but I think Sean is online as well. But the other people had things that come up. But instead of letting people that cancel on you put you down, or people that say no, thank you, it's just okay. Every no is for me a not now. It's not a never, it's a not now. No is the start of not now. Never is spelled differently. It's N-E. So if we have that attitude and we just understand that, number one, like Chris and Javi always says, the patch is not on trial. The business is not on trial. The system is not on trial. We have our upline. We have our support. In this business, we become family like this. So what is the problem? The problem is just us. We need to get out of ourselves, move forward, and just do what we can, one step at a time, day to day. And in the end, it builds up to many steps that will have results, because our focus is to help touch our nation. And everybody has money. They just decide what to do with it. Don't discriminate. Rich, poor, fat, ugly, tall, short. Doesn't matter what your cultural group is. Doesn't matter what your background is. Anybody can benefit from the patches, and anybody can do this business. And where on earth can you buy a portion into an international company by just looking after your own house and having your own business? So potential is endless. So that's my few minutes. Thank you.
Can I sign up, Mel? Can I sign up?
That's it. I'm done. You can sign up. But I'm your signature, Andrew.
John, welcome. Welcome to the call. I just, one of the first sessions we had in the convention on Saturday, Chris spoke about daring to be different. And he spoke about the black sheep of the family. Well, this is the biggest family of black sheep you're ever going to meet. There's not too many white sheep around here. So we're all daring to be different, and we're all daring to step out. And our challenge is to make a difference in as many people's lives around the world as possible. So welcome. You join us on an evening full of fire, and we look forward to journeying with you. Gavin and Tanya. Tanya, I see you sipping on something nice and warm there. I'm going to put you on the spot. Share that coffee with us, but share some of the things that you took out of the weekend, other than the fact that your husband was a brilliant MC. Okay, we all know that. You don't have to tell us about that. Let me find you here. There we go. Yeah, you're live.
Oh, where did it go again?
You're on. We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my screen just disappeared. This is rooibos tea with lemon. It is freezing here in Paarl. And yeah, thank you for having me on. And yeah, the convention was incredible. It was amazing. Yes, my husband, I'm biased. My husband was the best MC. He was gracious. He was professional. He is professional. And yeah, he did a great job keeping to the time. And yeah, it was wonderful. But as to the convention, man, it was incredible. I felt like such a baby, actually. I think I sobbed with every single person that spoke. It really moved me from start to finish, like you say, from the black sheep to every single person that spoke had a message, and it resonated with me so much. And everybody in that room, you could feel it. You could feel, that's what I say to people. And Javi says it, and everybody says it. You know, people don't go to convention to make a decision. They make a decision at the convention, you know, and that's why it's so important to get yourself there in person, because you cannot explain the feels. I call it the feels. You cannot explain the feels that you experience unless you're in that room. And it was just such a privilege and an honor to be part of that, to be part of this community as we sit here, because it is a community business. And I agree 100% with what Mel says, is this does not discriminate. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, where you're starting from. You don't have to be a seasoned person in this at all. I wasn't, I am not. Every day I am learning, and I learn from others. Every day there's a lesson. And I just loved everybody's stories at the convention, the energy, the vibe, you cannot actually put it into words. It was just such a beautiful experience to be part of. And I don't think I'm even processing as I'm sitting here. We had a previous Zoom just before this with our team, as we do every Thursday, and it was just so incredible. Me and all of them, we were just saying how even after days after this, you still are sitting and processing what actually happened. Because when you're there, it's almost overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed of emotion, gratitude, love for all the people in this room. And it was just incredible, Andrew. And it was incredible to meet you in person, which was wonderful. And yeah, just thank you to everybody. And yeah, it just I don't even have words anymore. So thank you, and I would just encourage everybody to just get themselves there 100%.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. And I see somebody here who is quite new to the business and attended the convention this past weekend. And I also had the privilege of meeting him and his family at the Bryanston presentation on Tuesday morning. So Francois, if you're around, I would like you to share your experience as I ask you to unmute. Go ahead, you're live on air. Oh, you muted yourself. You're going to try again. There we go.
Okay.
Goeienaand.
Hi, goeienaand uit Kaapstad uit. So thank you for this. Like I actually only tuned in at past, but so yes, so my parents received sure, I'm a little bit nervous. So my parents received their patches this morning. So I said, patch, immediately open it and patch. That was like at 9 a.m. this morning. So with this, like I'm seeing signs of things in my mother that I need to improve. So I'm so happy and excited for her on this. Like, so we were at the thingy on Tuesday, and then with the first patch, she could immediately have a feeling in her finger. But anyway, besides that, for the convention on Saturday, that was amazing. It was such an eye opener. And I was so blessed to be sponsored by Marcella to actually be there. And so every day now, I'm actually a private chef. So I don't have work at the moment, like it's very seasonal for me. But so every day I now take time to work on LifeWave. And I'm actually gaining something in life, I think, with what I've been through in the past few months and stuff. So I'm really excited for my own journey. I think I'm on my 8th patch. I had very good symptoms with my first batch. I'm actually still in a detox as well. So Marcella keeps on checking on me, as well as L'Oreal Krug, like the electrolytes, the coconut water, cucumber. I'm eating much healthier. I feel much better. So I hope this contributes to what you were on for tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And well done on getting your parents involved. That's fantastic. It was lovely to meet them on Tuesday, and I look forward to hearing all of the testimonies. There were lots that were going to be coming out of there. So exciting, excited for you. Let's build this thing together, and well done for being at that convention. And well done for the sponsor. Yeah, we did a step up and gift. Awesome. I see we have Harvey Solis on the call, and I'm going to put you on the spot, if you don't mind, and just share with us your experience of pouring into us here in South Africa.
Guys, how you guys doing? The one thing I want to say is seeing everybody in person was amazing. Okay, giving someone a hug, taking a picture, listening to someone's wants. That's why I love this belly-to-belly thing in network marketing. The Zoom is a wonderful thing, and just doing it in person just elevates it. That elevates the experience, you know. And it was just a joy to see. And like we said, we're going to come back year after year after year after year until we grow this thing into stadiums. You know, so after this conference, I want everyone to understand and reflect where you're going to take it afterwards. You're at the conference, you're at a high, you made a decision at this event. You don't make a decision to go to the event, you go to the event to make a decision. And everybody here made a decision. And some said, this is my fourth conference. You may have made a decision for the fourth time. Okay? And that's okay. Life hits and life distracts everybody. But you got to get honest, folks. You got to get honest about what you truly want. What you truly want out of your life and what you truly want to get out of this business. Strip away the things that you don't want and keep the things that you want, and or write down exactly what you want. Okay, we do a lot of writing, okay? We say it out loud and own your vision like it already happened. And we've done that year after year after year after year. It became a practice for us, you know? And you want to know something, folks? Let go of what no longer fits. Let go of what no longer fits. If something in your life that you're holding on to in the past and you need to forgive somebody or forgive a past hurt, do it. That may be the one thing that's stopping you from getting to where you want to go in your business. Personal development and growth is everything. You can't be the leader that you want because you can't give something you don't have. And the one thing that we concentrate on is the inner work of somebody. You grow the person will build the business. What are your daily routines? The small things you do every day shape your reality. We came back from South Africa and we have our plan. We slept a long time on the airplane. It's much needed rest, let me tell you. But when we woke up in the last 4 hours, we put pen to paper. Okay? Start your morning with intention. How many people I'm going to speak today? How many people in my team am I going to help go manager? How many one-on-ones am I going to do for somebody in my team? This is an activity-based business, friends. So many people are focused on the results and they forget about the activity.
Absolutely.
So people are so focused on the results and they forget about the activity. Okay? End your day with alignment. End your day with gratitude. The little things that you do something every day in your business. Because the one day you don't feel like doing something is the day that your breakthrough would have probably happened. Oh my God, I'm waking up. It's so tedious to make these phone calls. Then you don't want the life that you want bad enough. Oh my God, I got to wake up and show this presentation. Show that presentation till it stings. Until it stings. Surround yourself with the people who match your energy. Energy and frequency is everything. In my talk, I talked about frequency. Frequency is everything. People are going to match with your frequency. I think Mel talked about that. Frequency is everything that attracts people. If you want to attract people, you got to look attractive. If you want to attract sexy, you got to look sexy. Everything is all about frequency. Okay? The videographer who we hired, we sponsored them the day after the conference because they felt so energized. Like, my goodness, we don't want to be around people like this. And you want to know something? We're going to help them. We're going to help them. We're going to help them. Act like it's already yours, folks. When you left that conference, act like you were already successful. Act like you were already a 3-star presidential. Act like you were making the money that you wanted to make. Act like that. Write it down. It works. Trust me. But here's the deal, folks, and I'll end it with this. What you're going to do for the rest of the next 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, if you don't implement anything that you have learned this past weekend, you went there for nothing. Then you're going to say at the next conference, I made another decision. And the one after that, I made another decision. But you want to know something, folks? Every time you go to a conference, that decision should be different from the last decision you've made. The decision should be, I want to elevate my business and my team to different heights because you spoke it and you professed it to the world. The fact that you guys came to this event on your last dime because this is your last hope. I congratulate you. I honor you. One of the reasons why we travel around the globe to do this, to help people win. To help people win. Tap yourself in the back, folks. It was a big deal that happened this past weekend. A big deal. Some people saw the vision and they're going to act on it. I can tell you one thing. There's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 people in that conference that's going to crush this thing because they actually made a decision. Who is it going to be? I don't know. Does Sandy know? She doesn't know either, Sandy Feast. She doesn't know either. Does Chris and Lucinda know? They don't know. We're there to sow the seed and add water to the seed. Whoever wants to germinate, that's what people are going to rock with. Take it back, Andrew.
Absolutely. And I think it's important as well, just to touch on what you're sharing there. You can't give out of an empty cup. You got to fill yourself first. You got to be in a position where you're overflowing in order to give. You know, so many of us are trying to do this thing from a place of emptiness and brokenness, and it might not necessarily be in like a personal capacity, but we're trying to do this out of our own head knowledge and not our heart knowledge. And you know, everything in this business is about the relationship, and not just about the relationship that you have with the person that you're wanting to bring into the business. It's about the relationship you have with your sponsor or your upline. It's about the relationship you have with the leadership, because where are you going to get filled from? You can't fill yourself up. You need somebody to be pouring into you. And we're really blessed in this team to have leaders like Harvey and Olga and Sandy and Chris and Lucinda and you know everybody else that took the time and the effort and the energy this weekend to give of themselves and to pour from themselves into us, so that we can just get that little bit fuller and that little bit fuller until we overflow. But the only way we can pour out of that cup is if we take action. You know, it doesn't help that we keep everything bottled up. We had this amazing time and this amazing weekend and all these amazing challenges, but you put a cork on it and it's just not worth it, you know? And it's not going to age like fine wine. It's going to age like milk. It's going to turn sour and curdle, you know? So you got to share it. You got to let it out. You got to take action and give a little bit of what you've taken away. And as you pour out, so you make room for more. And I mean, Sandy, you've been doing this for 2.5 years now, and there's still room for more. There's still room for more, because every time you pour out, you just give space for a little more to come in. So yeah, that's really something very valuable, but we've got to take action, take action. And one of the key things that Harvey said to us over the weekend as well is just be consistent. Show up for yourself every day. Don't show up for anybody else. Show up for yourself every day. Make that decision when you get out of bed that I'm going to do this thing. No matter what your commitment is to it time-wise in the day, just do it. Be consistent. Okay, I think we're going to have 2 more people before we wrap up the call. I'm searching like a hawk. Almin Geldenes. I saw your Zoom last night. Lots of energy. I loved it. And where have you disappeared to? I just had you on the screen. There we go.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. You're live. No, you're gone. You're quiet again.
On the spot.
Yes.
So I think from this convention, the thing that I took, because I had so many people telling me that they're not going to come because I'm in Jeffreys Bay. We traveled quite far, and a lot of people told me they're not going to come because they can watch the replays on video. And you know what? I didn't have an answer for them before the convention, but other than feeling the energy in the room, being there and experiencing it firsthand, more than that, sitting next to someone that you're meeting for the first time and connecting with that person, having a conversation over coffee, hanging around for the meal and talking to a leader that you would otherwise never have connected to, staying with brand partners in a place, in a small little place to save cost and getting to know them better. All of that made this convention weekend an absolute phenomenal weekend. I stepped away from Joburg after the weekend a richer person and more from all of the connection and the community and getting to know people around a meal. And so I am absolutely with everyone. Sandy saying we have to have longer coffee breaks. I'm with you because I didn't have a chance to have a conversation with Sandy. So I am all for that extra connection and not just everything that happens on stage. And to me, it was such an experience, and I got little nuggets from everyone that I connected with, and that no one will have on a recording afterwards. And so I am absolutely putting away money, and I was blessed with a ticket to be able to go, and I have decided that I will start saving to be able to bless someone next year, to be there, to experience this, to give hugs until eyeballs pop out, because that is what made this convention for me one of the up there experiences of my life, but definitely of this year.
Excellent. Thank you, Elmine. And last one, I'm going to ask Ed and Charlene if you would share with us. I hope you're safely back in Cape Town. Yeah, you're live.
There we go. How's it, Andrew? Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
We're good, we're good, we're good.
Yo, I feel like we are speechless. We are definitely still absorbing everything from this live event. For us, it was absolutely mind-blowing. You know what, I've been now almost patching for a year, and besides the physical healing, what we got from the convention was the emotional healing. It's something you cannot explain to people. You can't. Yes, you can see you can see the recordings and all of that, but you can't experience like what everybody just mentioned on the calls, the feeling, the frequency, the emotion. I think that whole auditorium was in tears. I don't think there was one person that did not cry.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah,
it was
at some point for sure.
Yeah, for me, it was a case of one of the greatest things was being able to spend as much time as we did with Javi and Olga. Driving them around, being in their presence, you learn so much. And for me, it was a case of during that learning, I was able to figure what my story was in the whole situation. Everybody's always heard Charlene's story, and I've supported her on that. But only in this on Sunday, I had a massive breakthrough of what I had actually gone through. So yeah, for me, it was like eye-opening and emotional. I haven't cried that much in years. I felt like a little baby, and every time Charlene wanted to hold me, I'd be like, no, I'm big enough. I can get over this. But yeah, unbelievable. Would not miss the next one no matter what. Even if I have to walk there, I'll be there.
Absolutely. And it just changed, it changes your business, it changes your mindset. It's to actually learn, like everybody also mentioned, it's that you are enough. And I think it's to break that barrier, because we see all the people on the call, we see everybody just doing it. And like Javi and them kept on mentioning, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it. Like, just keep going. And you know what? You get better by experience, right? So, yeah, when we all started working in the industry, we weren't experts. We learned as we went.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing for me was when Avi turned around and said to me, just speak to people. You don't know their situation. And Monday morning when we left, I spoke to the petrol attendant. Just had a decent conversation with him, found out he's from Zim, he's having a hard life and everything else, and started speaking to him about what we do. And yeah, having a Zoom call with him at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. He is so interested in this business, he can't wait to get started. So it's just take a chance and speak to someone.
We're going to get
Absolutely.
to that 1 billion.
We have to. We have to.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Awesome. 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 Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your testimony as well, Charlene. Keep telling that story, and Ed, I can't wait to hear yours too. There's a lot of value in that. A lot of value in it for sure. Before I close the call, some parting thoughts from this gray man. Before I give those parting thoughts, I just noticed something last night. I've only been using X39 since the end of March. I had a scar on the bridge of my nose here that I've had since I was 6 years old. I got it playing some form of catches when I was in primary school, and my best friend tripped me in the car park and I landed on my nose and ripped all the skin off my nose. So I've had the scar there since I was 6. And last night when I was shaving, not this part, I noticed that that scar is disappearing, because I saw it on a photograph. That's my screensaver thing on my laptop when I open up my laptop. That photograph was taken in 2006, the year my grandmother passed away, and that scar was very visible and very red on the top of my nose. And I can feel it and see that it is actually disappearing. So there we go. X39 is doing what it says it will do. Now, those parting thoughts. First one, what is the most valuable asset that you have in your LifeWave business? What is the most valuable asset that you have in your LifeWave business? Mel Gamble, you have the answer correct. You are the most valuable asset. Not anybody else, you. Because you got to show up for yourself. You got to make a decision for yourself, and you got to invest in yourself. So yes, it's been said a few times on this call, start saving for next year. Put that money away, invest in yourself, do what you can to develop and better yourself, because there's nobody else that's going to do it for you, and there's no one else that's going to build your LifeWave business for you except you. You are the CEO of your own life. Take charge, invest in yourself, okay? And Ed touched on it now as well. I'm going to emphasize a little bit more on it. I wanted to share a lot more on the power of light, but I just felt when I was in that moment that, hang on, the power was there, it was done, finish. But how will they know unless we tell them? It comes straight from Scripture, okay? And it relates back to the gospel. But same thing here. We're sharing life with people and the opportunity for life. But how will they know unless we tell them? Speak light, speak life, and let's bring about the change. It's been great having you all here on the call this evening. I think we've really unpacked this convention, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the weeks and the months ahead. And I'm looking forward to seeing some amazing, amazing testimonies from every single one of you on stage next year. Let's be prepared for it. Have a wonderful evening. I'll be doing the Friday evening movie tomorrow night. So if you've got some prospects and they would like to hear me, bring them along and let's share the opportunity with them. And I will see you guys on the Zooms and in person. I should be in Jeffreys Bay by Sunday afternoon, God willing. Have a wonderful evening further. God bless you all. Take care and good night.